Welcome to the Small Business Show. My name is Swire from Guru.promo. Today we have a panel discussion about how to network through COVID-19, how to connect with people. We have Claudia Lagoo, Escrow Officer from Eastland Escrow, Joe Croft from Croft CPA and Associates, and Mike Adray, Executive Director from BNI Founding Region. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
So let's do a quick introduction, starting with you, Claudia. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yes, good morning. My name is Claudia Lagoo. I'm an escrow officer at an independent escrow company in Covina, Eastland Escrows, and I work with real estate agents, business brokers, and mortgage originators to close their transactions on time and smoothly. And yeah, that's what I do.
How about you, Joe?
Sure. Yeah, Joe Croft, CPA and Associates. I'm a sole practitioner CPA in the city of Upland in Southern California. I specialize in small businesses and helping them with their operations and finances, as well as I do training for their staff as they feel needed and as appropriate. And I do individuals and trust tax returns as well.
Mike?
Hi, Mike Adray, Executive Director for the BNI Founding Region. I work with sales professionals and business owners to build a referral network around their business and learn how to do business by referral.
Great. So today our discussion is getting more referral through networking. Obviously, right now, physically, we can't go out to do networking. So I wanted to get your take. So right now, what are the available tools or method that we can help get more referral for our business?
Okay, so BNI is one of the world's largest referral marketing and networking organizations, and we've built our model on in-person meetings. Obviously, we can't meet in person today, and most organizations can't. So we transitioned our members and our chapters to a virtual online format that we've been able to utilize to generate internationally over $1 billion in business each of the last 2 months that we've been in this online format. So that's one way that we've been able to pivot or transition our platform to this virtual platform.
What have you guys done now, Claudia and Joe?
So I'm keeping in touch with my clients via Zoom. I'm a BNI member as well. And so for me, it's just keeping in touch, letting them know that through all this, we were considered an essential business. So we remained open so that if they had any questions or needed help with any of their customers, that we were here for them.
Yeah, kind of similar for me, Claudia, as a CPA, we were considered essential during this time in California. And one of the first things I did was reached out to my clients and let them know that, hey, I'm here and I'm available, I'm a resource. And especially as the CARES Act was passed and the PPP loan became available for businesses, there was a lot of questions and guidance being sought for and after, and that was something I was able to do to help my clients who were interested in wanting to obtain those monies, and even help those who were kind of in between or needing help where they weren't able to get it from their practitioner for one reason or another. Just helping folks find their way through all these uncertainties. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think one of the challenges that we have is, normally we'll have a face-to-face meeting, in BNI or when we attend Chamber of Commerce, or even I know a lot of us will actually go visit client in their site. So right now, physically we can't do that. Do you guys think this is a challenge moving forward, or what are the better ways that you found that you are reaching to your clients right now besides doing Zoom calls? Are there unique techniques that you guys would want to share?
Yeah, I'll weigh in real quick. Just for me, I'm an extrovert and a CPA, which almost sounds like an oxymoron, but we exist. There's a few of us in this world, and to me, going online has been it's been a challenge just from the standpoint of I really enjoy that personal interaction, and online initially was really difficult to feel that. But at the same time, as I am able to relate with my clients and kind of look past the technology that's there in front of me, I can still make that connection and I can still feel that connection with my clients. I'm also a member of BNI, and so that was one of the things that drew me to BNI was that person-to-person in-person face-to-face interaction. When we had a little bit of a reopening and we're able to sort of be socially distant as appropriate and with masks and gloves and what have you, definitely that was something I took advantage of at the time. And still it's just sort of making sure that I have those touches with people and letting them know that I'm still here, I'm still the same guy, we're just a phone call away or just a Zoom meeting away.
Yeah. And I think with a part of the sector of our population, it sort of thrust us and forwarded us into technology and being able to learn some of this new. Zoom was new to me, and now I'm able to connect with my clients. It's easier to say, hey, let's just get on Zoom and just face to face and check in with each other and see how I can help them while they're out there trying to get clients. Since I'm mostly in real estate, they're getting for sales and refinances and such. And so I appreciate that we are able to use the technology that's out there to keep us in touch. So if there is a silver lining to all this, is that technology was here to at least keep us somewhat connected.
Mm-hmm. Swire, I really like what Claudia said about the silver lining. I believe that everything in life happens for a reason, and while we don't always understand, what the reason or why things happen, and nor do we seldom see the opportunities that are in front of us because of what is happening. And what I've witnessed is there are certain businesses and professionals that are frozen in fear. They don't know what to do, so they just freeze up and they don't do anything. They just kind of mentally shut down. And then others operate in this environment. I like to call it the Great Pause, by the way, rather than COVID-19. This is just our Great Pause. A lot of people are operating like this is temporary. And while we hope that it will be temporary, I think it's a mistake to figure that, well, I'm just going to do what I need to do to get by, rather than being very strategic about what's in front of us today, and form an action plan to pivot your business. Like, what do you need to be doing different today in your business that will get you the success that you had or wanted before the Great Pause occurred? And what are you doing to generate new revenue streams for your business? Those that are not frozen in fear, what I have seen, have become creative and develop new ways of getting revenue into their business that will not go away once the Great Pause is done, but will be an additional revenue stream to their business that they never even thought of trying to develop before, because they just did things the way they always did them. And so those people that innovate and that look for people to collaborate with and have a peer group or peer support group that they can go to figure out how to mold their business to be successful in the environment we have now, I think they're going to use this as a springboard to that once we get back to that normalcy that we're all wanting, that their business is going to explode. In fact, our BNI members, I surveyed them last month, and it was very remarkable. 25% of our members reported that they're doing as much or more business than they were prior to everybody getting shut down in March.
Wow, that's an amazing stats.
That's remarkable.
And if you use that technology, so for example, LA County, all our counties are huge counties, and continue to use it. If I meet somebody, I can do a quick Zoom, introduce myself. There's a face behind the voice and the emails, so that we can still make that connection, like Mike was saying, and really use this now as a tool in the future for referrals and for those quick, one-to-one meetings with someone who need, a little bit more assurance on who you are and what you're all about. And especially now especially when traffic gets back to normal, right? It's kind of nice to have a quick one-to-one meeting on Zoom and just make that connection before you make the next connection in person.
Well, I actually noticed something very interesting on my observation. I attend a few speed networking, at Chamber of Commerce, and then when we meet for the counterparty, then I'll, with the BNI training, I'm able to tell people about my business within 30 seconds, like all of us, in the beginning. But then I found it for people who are not trained or accustomed to doing meetings like this, they will try to tell me the entire business for like 5 minutes. At the end, I still couldn't get what they're doing, especially when I asked them, what would be a good referral for you? I was really going to help. I was trying to see if I'm able to connect with them with someone that they want to meet. But even with that question, they're having a hard time answering it. So with all of us here, our BNI member, we've been trained for it, and especially Claudia, I want to throw this question to you. How do we keep a referral mindset? Like, how do we, knowing who the other person is, if they really ask and care about, what would be a good referral for it? So how do we structure it and able to relate to the party, across from the screen?
So for me right now is keeping the touchstone with all my clients who, like Mike said, some are living in fear. It's very hard for them to get out there. There's a lot of clientele out there that is living in fear, doesn't want anyone in their home and such. And so what we've just been doing is keeping in contact with one another, making a plan. So when we hit the ground running, and getting ready for the people to come back, so to speak, especially in our industry at least. And so for me, I've just been reaching out to different mortgage originators, some real estate agents that are still out there and active, to let them know that, we're here and how can we work together to help them, especially with their clients not wanting to be too close to one another. How are we handling the social distancing in our office? Because that is a big fear for them on there. So for me, it's just keeping the lines of communication open and working with those that are ready to venture out again, if you will.
What do you think, Joe? Like, what do you think about how to properly ask a referral?
Yeah, one of the things, I'm not sure how long I've been hearing this sort of a comment in my life, but one of the things I've heard, I'm paraphrasing a little bit here, is if everybody you meet, you assume has a need of help in some sort of way, like there's something that they need help with. If you go with that mindset, you're probably going to be right about 80% of the time. And then what it is having the conversation, listening for the cues, watching for the cues, trying to find a way to make a connection and take it to the next step of, how can I help you? Who is it that you're looking for? What type of product or service is it out there that's going to make your life easier and help you right now, or maybe in the foreseeable future that you're looking for and haven't found yet? And then, do I have that connection directly, or do I know somebody that has that connection? And then, if it's me directly, making that connection so that they have that contact and they can get the help they're looking for. If it's not me directly, introducing them to who it is that I believe or know has that contact, or maybe reaching out initially, and but working the relationship in a way that I'm getting those people in contact with each other so that they can help each other. And who knows what may lead from that? Maybe there'll be other things that first person I spoke to needs that they hadn't thought of. Maybe there'll be things that they can do for the person I put them in contact with. I don't know, but they'll find out as they communicate and get in contact.
Yeah. And keeping that referral mindset, no matter what, good attitude, being on time, thanking them, keeping your ethics, being enthusiastic, trying to give referrals. So if we're out there doing it and being an example for those folks out.
Joe, I think you are spot on. You have to go into it with that "how can I help you" mindset. I cannot echo that louder. That was awesome. You have to approach every person that talk to, interact with that mindset of, I'm looking for ways to help this person, right? So everyone has a problem, business, personal, whatever it is. They're looking for solutions, right? And so if you go into it with that mindset of, I'm looking for a way to help them rather than sell to them. So when you're talking to your people in your network, it's really important that you know them well and they know you well, right? So it's not necessarily how many people you know. I mean, that's important. You have to have a wide network. But what's more important is, how deep is your network? How well do they know you, and how well do you know them? And if you know them well, there are some really important things that you'll be able to have in your mind, which will put you in that referral mindset that Joe's talking about. Number one, you'll know the things to look and listen for. That would be opportunities or connections for them. You'll know who their target market is and who their target market is not, right? So that's important too. Like you don't want to connect them with people that are not a good fit for them. Not everybody doesn't want to do business with everybody. Everybody has a niche, or they have a specialty, or they have a sweet spot in their business. And if you know them well enough, you can identify that sweet spot. Then that'll be your trigger of your reticular activator that will make you think of this is a great referral for somebody. And then this is where a lot of people are missing the boat on the referral mindset. You have to be able to know the person well enough that you're trying to give the referral to or connect somebody to be able to ask the person that you've met one or two questions that will get you to start a conversation with them without openly promoting the person you're trying to connect them to. That will get them to just share the problem or the solution that they're looking for, so much so that the question is so open that all you have to say after they share the problem, if you will, that all you have to say is, if I knew somebody that could help you with that, would you want to meet them?
Mm-hmm.
And if you know your network and you know the people in your network well enough, you know what to look and listen for, you know who the target market is or is not, and you know how to start a conversation that will lead you to ask that magical question. If I knew somebody that could solve that, or somebody that could help you with that, would you want to meet them? And now you can create that connection that Joe was talking about.
Yeah, I remember. I know, Mike, you have a process too. I don't want to give it too away, and I actually have done that process with Mike with the question. It's like, if I ask someone, "Do you have a CPA?" I probably do. If you have an escrow officer for a realtor, probably they do. But by the way that structure your question, and sometimes the pain point to ask people, then they will prompt them. Yeah, I don't really like my CPA. My escrow officer is always late. Then if I have someone to help you, or if I can have someone to solve all the problems that you ever have, would you like me to connect you with that person? The answer always going to be yes. So I think there are ways, and we need practice to ask for the right referral. Because if you ask me, do you need promotional product? And the answer will be no, or I have something already. But if you knowing who they are, like knowing that person or client makes sense, because you know what they care about, their value, their pain point. Then it's going to be better when they ask referral. But I think it's just a learned skill, because I'm really, really constantly surprised every time I go to like a chamber mixer. I will throw that question out there. What's a good referral? Let me know. I will do my best to help you. And sometimes people caught by surprise, like, why are you helping me? What are you trying to sell me? Like, you helping me, then what's the hook? Then it's just, maybe I'm just nice sometimes. Maybe if I'm able to get the dream referral that you want, and sometimes you have something that for me, maybe you'll give it back to me. It's the give is gain philosophy that we always talk about in BNI.
Yeah.
One thing I want to add to that too is, so many people out there when they're networking, and Dr. Ivan Meisner, who founded BNI, talks about this regularly, and I think many of us who have joined BNI over the years have learned this through our own experiences. It's a lot of people go into networking with the mindset of, how many business cards can I accumulate? How many names and phone numbers can I accumulate? How many sales can I make? How many sales pitches can I set up for? And it takes practice and effort to change the mindset and to overcome that natural tendency to want to promote yourself, to want to sell yourself and get your service or product in the door somewhere where you want to be, or to help the world believe that you're the solution to everyone's problem. That may be the case, but networking isn't really about that. It's about, as we've talked about, helping everybody else with what they have going on. And at some point in the future, they may or may not remember, hey, this person really helped me out a lot. I want to help them, or maybe what they have going is what I need right now, or what somebody in my family needs, or somebody down the street needs that I've met with. You just don't know the timing or the people when that's all going to take place, and that's okay. Like you say, Swire, people get surprised when you say, how can I help you? Who's a good referral for you? What type of referral you're looking for? and people don't know how to respond because that's not the mindset that they're in yet.
Yeah, and unfortunately, when you have that genuineness and you ask, like Swire said, they back up, like, what do you want? Because there's just so many times people, what are you selling? No, I have enough. And so, but if what they see our genuineness, we're actually practicing giver's game. We're like, no, we're out here. We're not out here hunting. We're out here building relationships. We're out here trying to find what each of us needs by listening to one another, so that we can all move forward and progress in our businesses and pass referrals that are good referrals, and that are something that you've worked on, that you've talked to with someone, and then they appreciate that as well. One of the things that I've learned is to give my referrals background information so that they are in a good position to know who that client is. And an example that comes to mind is I had a referral for Joe, and I let him know, hey, this is how the Mr. works, this is how the Mrs. works, and so that he's not surprised or taken aback by it, and knowing who their client is. So I know it would help Joe or anyone know what position to kind of start in, so that the person feel comfortable.
So it's not like a lead. Sometimes people would send me a referral. They thought it's a referral, but it's a cold call. The counterpart, like, who are you? Like, who's that? And it's good that you let them know what to expect, and it would be even nicer if you pre-call the potential client. Joe will be calling, and he'll give you this information. It'll kind of warm them up for it. So I found if I do that for referral that I give to other people, it will work a lot nicer.
Yes.
I love what you guys are saying here, because Joe, you're talking about, and Claudia, you're talking about when you go into these events and you ask somebody, how can I help you, or Swire, what's a good referral for you, and people are taken aback. And what most people don't realize, like when you go to those networking events, and the people who think it's all about collecting business cards, or how many clients can I try and get, or how many people can I get to buy my product or service today, they don't realize why that doesn't work in that environment. They don't realize that they didn't go there to buy anything, nor did anybody else. They're in a room full of sellers. Nobody came there to buy anything. Everyone came to sell. So you're not going to be successful selling in a room full of sellers. You don't have any buyers there. So you're right, Claudia. It's about, networking's about farming and not hunting, right? You have to build the relationships and develop them over time. I've gone to those types of events where everyone's shoving a business card at you, and collecting as many business cards as you can, and when you come out of those, like, you feel like you've been slimed, like you got to go home and take a shower, right? Because it's just everyone was just selling. But when you make yourself stand out by not selling and just saying, how can I help you, or what's a good referral for you, or who can I connect you with that would be a great referral partner or strategic alliance or referral source for you, you've just interrupted their entire thought pattern, because now all of a sudden they have to switch out of sales mode and go, what are you talking about?
Right. Right. You went off script. You're like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, they're not expecting that at all. That's awesome.
And I like how you said strategic alliance, because a lot of times it isn't necessarily about that referral right there, but it's about introducing you with someone that you can brainstorm with, think of different ideas, dovetail from each other, and those turn into referrals, going back again to farming. It's not just about, let me see if somebody can buy something from you. It's, let's see if we can't all work together for the greater goal of improving our businesses.
Absolutely. That's that hunt and kill mentality, right? Go out, get a client, boom. Go out, get the next client, boom. Like, you can do that. And there are people who've built great sales careers on doing that. But then there are also those who like to work smarter rather than harder, and they work on developing the relationships. So I could go out and try and sell to 100 people, right? And I'd probably have to present to 500 to close 100. Right? That would be awesome. Have a 20% close ratio. But if I just developed strategic alliances with professionals that could feed me clients on a regular basis, that's a way better use of my time. And now I'm going to have a much higher success rate. It's probably going to be in the 90 percentile close rate, because now I'm doing business by referral. Somebody they know, like, and trust. is referring them to somebody else that can solve the problem or fill the need. And that's a much better way to do business than the hunt-kill mentality.
Okay, great. Friends, Alex, Memphis has, say BNI been a great platform for networking. And I do think that, it's good that to have people who understand the concept and, still meets every week and to share experience and, ask for the referral that we're asking. But when we come to the final, stretch of our the show, want to ask you guys, if there's one thing that you wanted to encourage viewer to do if they haven't been doing the format that we've been doing, like what would that be? How would you encourage people to get out there and get more referrals for themselves?
Well, the first thing I would suggest is obviously visit a BNI chapter, right? Find out what it's about. And you may find that you can't join that chapter because we do only allow one person per professional specialty in the chapter, but we can open more chapters, so that's not a problem. But here's what's really important. No matter what you're going to do and where you're going to do it, I like to call it the 24/7/30 system. So when you meet somebody, wherever it's at, whether it's at an in-person event or whether you're at a chamber event virtually, within 24 hours, you want to connect with that person on social media. After you meet them, connect with them on social media. Within 7 days, you want to give them a phone call. Now, some people say you can shoot an email out, but let's face it, everyone gets way too many emails today. So it's time to go old school and make a phone call. Pick up the phone and call them within 7 days and just let them know it was great to meet them and find out how you can help them. Is there anything I can do to help you? And maybe that's all the phone call is. Hey, I just wanted to follow up to see if there was anything I could do to help you. And they're not going to expect that, and they probably won't be able to say anything, right, that you could help them with. And then the 30, so 24 hours, 7 days, and then 30 days, within 30 days, you want to set a follow-up meeting. And prepare them for that follow-up meeting and prepare them with things that, like what, if you had 1 or 2 problems that you needed to be solved, what would they be? And then think of ways that you can help them or connect them with somebody that can help them with that problem. If you approach that meeting with them and that I'm coming to it to find ways to help you, people are going to be way more open to having that meeting than thinking that, oh, great, now I got to listen to this guy's sales pitch, right? He's going to try and close me on something. Like, nobody wants that.
Right.
Go into it with, I want to find a way that I can help you, and I want to connect. If I can't help you, I want to connect you with somebody that can help you. So 24 hours, connect social media, 7 days, pick up the phone and call them and just see how things are going, if there's anything you can do to help them. And then within 30 days, have that follow-up meeting. And that's how you can develop those relationships with new people that you meet.
My suggestion would be first, of course, is join a BNI group. If you're unable to, find a group of someone that you can just talk with about what you do and maybe strategize on what you can do, because there's nothing worse, I think, is to be out there by yourself, and not having someone to bounce things off of and try to move forward. Like I said, I'm a little biased. BNI is my first go-to. It's the best thing I did, and made great friendships and great alliances. And I just can't say enough about it. But yep. How about you, Joe?
I'll second your comment. I was introduced to it about 6 months prior to my being able to join, and I was fortunate that the chair I was after didn't get scooped up before I was able to get in. And it's business-wise, best decision I've made, other than going out on my own. But a pretty good second. Yep. And with that, one of the things that I really find from my core values growing up is putting others first. And the giver's gain concept in BNI does just that. And it's a very selfless way to act. And at the same time, by doing that, you actually find that you get more back out of it. Whether it may not be business, maybe it's contacts, connections, a bigger network. But you get so much more proud of what you put into it. And for me, that's been a great refresher to really start to see that as I've been in about a year and a half, and really seeing that feel like I'm getting back to the person that I was. I think when I first started my practice, again, I was probably a little bit more of a hunter than I probably should have been. But realizing that that's not who I was prior to that, why would that suddenly be the way I should be now? And B&I really just meshed with my personality and type of person I naturally am. And so I would say, when it boils down to it, put others first, givers gain.
Thank you so much, guys. I know with the four of us, we could talk about referrals and B&I for hours. So maybe, when you guys have time, do want you guys to come back. If any of the viewer watching it later, if you have any question or want to reach out, each of us individually, I'll put our contact information in there. Put any question that you have on there, we'll respond. And then subscribe to our social media pages. And thank you so much, guys, for coming on today. Take care.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Swire.
Swire. Thanks,
Bye.
Swire.